Good morning. It's Saturday. We're going to the zoo. Going to the San Diego Zoo on Saturday after Thanksgiving. We're going to see how busy it is. We have a zoo pass, so we come here quite frequently, so we're really not concerned with getting to see everything and whatnot. But we are interested to see how busy it is. My mother's here visiting with us from Pennsylvania, so we're going to go to the zoo, and then my wife's mother's also meeting us here, though she also lives locally and has a pass. Here you got the crowd levels, just milling around the outside. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, so the zoo has just opened, so it's not too busy, but it seems busy enough that I think we're going to go through the Keepers Club entrance.
Because we can.
Yep, because we can. So the main entrance to the park is over here through this area. But for the Keepers Club pass members, over here is a separate entrance. And you see the sign right here, Donor Club entrance this way. So we like to go in this way to avoid the crowds. If you have a pass or are thinking about getting a pass because you live in San Diego or you visit often enough, this is a nice little perk of the Keepers Club. It's a little extra money. I'm not sure what the extra difference is. It's like maybe $200 as opposed to $120 or something like that, but it also gives you free parking at the safari park, so definitely worth it for us because we go up to both quite frequently. So this lets us in the exit. I mean, this is technically the exit to the park, but we get to go in through the exit because we have the extra pass. So
yeah.
And then Amy and I have the pass that is, we each have a ticket, but Amy's mom has a pass where she has a ticket and gets in one guest free. Want to go down the Reptile Walk?
You sure you know with your jacket on? Wow. Those are ginormous. They're bigger than the ones we used to have. Oh,
He's a snake-necked
look
turtle.
at his neck. Oh, he has a very long. He's got a funny face. Oh, look at him.
Quick tip is to go down the side of the park where nobody else is going. Everyone, when they first rush into the zoo, they go straight. They go down the monkey trail, they go down the tiger trail, the hippo trail, down those main trails right through the center. And if you go over to the left-hand side of the park as you come in towards the reptiles and the turtles and things like that, it's much less crowded right first thing in the morning. They're currently rebuilding the children's zoo, the Discovery area. So it's under construction right now, but once it opens up, all that stuff is on this side of the park as well. So it's another great place to go first thing if you want to avoid the crowd, or you could come here later in the day, I suppose, after you've gone through all the crowded stuff at the beginning, because that's going to even be more crowded in an hour or two. So this is the model of the children's zoo here, just an area that shows you what's going to be coming in the children's zoo. So it's a nice little model right here in the reptile area if you want to come take a look at it to see what's coming. It's quite a big area. So we just finished up with the reptile area, coming back out here to the main area. Right over there is the entrance to the park where everybody comes in, grabs their maps, and then straight down there is bus tour as well as the tiger trail. But we're going to come over here. There's a little food area. We're not eating here or grabbing coffee unless my mother-in-law wants coffee. But we're going to go down here. The flamingos are over here, and then the monkey trail, which also leads down to the tigers and the hippos. So lots of benefits for going this way in particular. Plus, it's the easiest not to get lost in things because there's a lot of turns and twists through here. So we're about to go into the aviary here, my least favorite part. So definitely do not like aviaries. The safest place is going to be under this little awning thingy over here. I don't even know what you call this. And I just got dripped on, but it was just water because it rained yesterday and everything's pretty damp in here. I was just worried that it was poop. See, here we go. Here's a popular pooping spot right here. We want to avoid the popular pooping spot. So we pop out of the first aviary here and we're coming up on some of these monkeys. bonobos, I guess. Let's see if I can find one here. Wow. Those guys are right up close. That works fine. They look dead.
2, 3.
Whoa!
Okay.
It's 10 o'clock and we had to take a snack break, so we stopped here at the Panda place. It's pretty empty at this part of the morning. I mean, it's not open. But we stopped here because there was a restroom. We filled up our water cup and got the kids some snacks because our littlest one was starting to have a meltdown. It's only 10 o'clock. But that's a mid-morning snack, if you will. So you got to do what you got to do. Make sure you come planned for snacks if you have kids, because it's a lot of walking. They burn off a lot of energy and they get very hungry. We've learned the hard way. Last time we came a week ago, we forgot snacks, and that was, yeah, let's not talk about that. So if you've not been to the zoo in a while, they've just built this elevator here and this bridge walkway that connects the two sides of the park up top. So we're going to come over here and take the elevator to go up top. And it's a lot simpler and easier than walking up the big hill, and you can still take the moving walkway thing, but elevators are nice. And now we're up top at the bridge. There's the panda place down below. Behind us is the monkeys, gorillas, orangutans, things like that, and the aviary. Ahead, off to the left, is the polar bears, and off to the right over here is the elephants. Polar bear plunge. So we ended up back down at the bottom of the way here. We went down through the polar bears and we came back around, went down. Now we're headed up back towards the panda exhibit this morning, or panda area. The pandas aren't here anymore. But the reason we did that is because we want to end up at either Sydney's or Sabertooth area for lunch. We generally eat at the Huamei Cafe, which is the Chinese place right down here at the bottom in the panda area. However, since we ate there just a week ago, we're going to probably go to the Sabertooth, which is right at the beginning of the elephant exhibit. So we're going to go through Africa Rocks. And then after you get through Africa Rocks, you can either turn left to get to Sabertooth or turn right to get to Sydney's. So the way that we planned it, we timed it so that we'll get there shortly after 11 o'clock so that we do the least amount of backtracking and the kids can get fed because they're used to eating at 11. And the big important thing when you're going to anywhere like a zoo or a park is you want to make sure that you can keep your kids' schedule consistent and the same to what they're used to at home so that you deal with less tragedies. If you could probably see here, Benjamin is in the stroller and he's kind of whining and complaining already, and it's only like 10:30. But try to minimize the fussiness of kids by catering to them as best as possible. So we're going to go work our way up through Africa Rocks, and then we're going to go get some lunch. So here we are outside the Huamei Cafe again, and it looks like that they probably are open now. There's a couple of people hanging around. I see some workers in there. It's 10:30, and I believe everything opens at 10:30. We're not ready to quite get lunch yet. That's why we're going to go pick a different location, but here's Huamei Cafe. Plenty of tables and seating down here. And then it's right next to the Africa Rocks exhibit, which this is the entrance to Africa Rocks over here.
This is Silly. She is a 10 rep. And she is waking up now. She's a little squirmy.
Sometimes the funnest things are the simplest things. Go to the zoo with all these animals and my child is more entertained by going in circles around a pole. For it being Thanksgiving weekend, it's not too terribly crowded. Granted, it's still not even 11 o'clock yet, but you can see there are people here, but it's a lot emptier than it could be for sure. There are animals and there are things like there's birds in here. It's another mini aviary. You might be able to see them if I zoom in here. You can see one of them right there. But this is a sloping path. It goes upward if you come in from the bottom. It goes down if you come in from the top, obviously. But it's a really easy grade. So if you're picking a path to walk uphill in the San Diego Zoo, the Africa Rocks section is the better one to do it in because it's easier and it's not a steeper incline like in some of the other areas. There he comes back out.
I'll be thinking of you.
There's another cat on the other side.
I know.
You can see him right here.
Lip. You can bend that lip clear back up almost over their eyes. And so
Coming up on the Elephant Odyssey, discover the animals of Southern California's past. Nice visual mind trick thing here of the elephant from either direction that you look at it. It is an elephant. It's a fun little play area for the kids right here in the beginning of the elephant section. Coming from the back, mind you. Coming from the back. There's a little bulldozer there and some tunnels for the kids to run through. And on the other side, there's a little jumpy area and another tunnel to run through. Got some snakes over here. If they're out in this exhibit, a rattlesnake in particular is one of my favorite things to come look at this exhibit, but whether he's out or not is the question. Okay, so I see him way back there on the rock. Benji. And here's the other kids' play area for this. It's not super involved, but it's something, and my little one loves to climb and play on it. Well, the big one does too, but he's in a stroller and doesn't feel like moving. Inside the saber-tooth grill here, and there's all sorts of options. We've got healthier options off to the left here, some salads and some wraps, some oranges, some fruits that you can get, and then off to the right they have the area where you can request food and they'll make it for you right there while you stand, and then they hand you the plate, you put it on your tray and take it to the exit. The items here that they've got, just taking a look at their menu, they've got some bowls and Korean beef, Mediterranean chicken, chili lime shrimp, vegetarian curry, and then they've also got a steak sandwich and chicken strip plate, and then of course those salads and those wraps. There's some you can get over off to the side here, and of course they do have some desserts. Now the beverages at all of the places in the safari park, if you order a Coke or whatever it is, you're going to pay the price that you see there for Coke, $3.79, but then you're going to get this cup, this special cup, and if you use that cup anywhere else in the park, all your drinks are going to be 99-cent refills. You don't have to just get the souvenir sippers for that. These other cups on top of the register over there, those work as well. You can still get a bottle of water if you want, though you can also ask for free water as well. So we got the steak sandwich at the Saber-Tooth.
And onions are extra.
Onion rings on the side for my mom that are extra. A steak sandwich with curly fries here. And the steak sandwich with onion rings over here. So standing outside the Sabertooth here, I got the steak sandwich, as you saw. Steak sandwich came with a bunch of like salad greens on it and a horseradish sauce. Wasn't super big fan of the horseradish sauce, but it was still pretty good. It was very well made. The steak was great. It was good texture, good. Not the greatest food describer in the world, but the steak was great. The cheese was great. Like I said, not a big fan of the horseradish. Also not a big fan of the dressing that they put on the salad greens there that were on top of it. But it was still a good sandwich overall. My curly fries were fantastic. The temperature was great. There was a crisp to them. The flavoring, fantastic. And I also had one of my mom's onion rings. And though I'm not a huge onion ring person, the onion rings were great as well. So this is an excellent place to go. I mean, it's park food, if you know what I mean. If you go to enough places like zoos and what have you, it's park food. It's still great. Better than SeaWorld, better than a lot of other places that I've been to. So if you are looking for a great place to go, Sabertooth Grill is a good one. Go ahead and check it out. Hardly ever see the lions away from their sitting posts, so really great to be able to see them eating and walking around. Thanksgiving weekend, you can see that there's a bit of a line piling up now. Again, 12:30. So if you got to get tickets, if you get them online, print out your ticket, you can walk straight up. Otherwise, you got to wait in these queue lines here to get your tickets, and you can look way far down there. The lines are pretty long, so sometimes the funnest things they could get much longer. Are the simplest thing, considering the queue here. But go to the zoo with all these animals, and my child was more entertained by going in circles around a pole. I don't pay attention to those details too many of the times. Now, the main thing to consider when coming on any Saturday, let alone a holiday weekend, is parking. As you can see, most of the spots are going to be filled. In fact, almost every spot is going to be filled. We've come before on a Saturday during a regular holiday. In fact, we came Valentine's weekend, and I drove around this parking lot for 20 straight minutes. 20 straight minutes and did not find a spot. Ended up having to leave because it was just too crazy, and we ended up not going to the zoo that day. But it was also 1 o'clock in the afternoon or so, which is around the time it is right now. So make sure that you take that into consideration. We always try to get here right at opening, 9 a.m., so that we're able to maximize not only the time with the least amount of crowds, but also to be able to get a nice upfront parking. So that would be my recommendation.